Hello and welcome to the first Introduction to Photoshop podcast. What we're going to do to start with is going to just play around with saving selections and working with channels. So what I need you to do is just open up any two images. What we're going to do here is not image specific, so it doesn't really matter what you've got up. So I'm just going to open a couple of sample files from the Photoshop folder, but you can use whatever you want. So I'm going to use this sunflower and palm tree image here. And first of all, what I want to show you is just some basic selections. So I'm going to take the marquee tool and I'm just going to draw a selection like that. And just to make it something that you can identify, I'm going to change this around a little bit so it's not just a square. So I'm going to hold down the Option key with my marquee tool, and I'm just going to click and drag a couple times and just make some little cuts and holes in this selection. And I can also hold down the Shift key and add a couple of spots, like here and here. Okay, now once you've got a selection, and you decide you want to save that selection, all you have to do is go up to the Select menu and choose Save Selection and hit OK. Now if I were to go up to Select and Deselect, and I decide I want that selection back, I just go up to the Select menu, choose Load Selection, select Alpha 1, and hit OK, and I've got that selection back. Okay, so it's pretty basic. Just you make a selection, something you like, you want to hold on to it, choose Save Selection. What's more interesting is if you go into the Channels tab, should be next to your Layers tab, and you click on Alpha 1, what you can do is you can actually look at a physical representation of that selection. So this is what a selection looks like when it's saved. It's just white where it's selected area, and it's black where it's unselected area. So also pretty simple. Now what you can do to make things a little more interesting is you can have shades of gray in a channel. So just to show you, I'm going to create a new channel. Hit OK. And I'm going to draw just a little square here, and I'm going to fill it with white. Then I'm going to make another square. I'm going to fill it with sort of a light gray color. And I'm just going to make a few more of these, and I'm going to get darker and darker gray with each one of them. And then the last one, I'll make a not quite black, but just really dark gray. Fill that one in. Okay, now if I go up to Select and Load Selection, and I choose Alpha 2, since that's the one I was building, I'll hit OK. Now you notice when the marching ants come up that you only see 2 of those squares, even though I made 5 here. Well, those 2 squares are just the only ones that Photoshop can display because the other ones are too dark to show up. It's just the way Photoshop does things. But just when you see that, don't worry about it. Everything is selected. So now if I go to Edit, Copy, and just click on a different image and choose Edit, Paste, this is what you end up with. Every place that you had pure white is 100% opaque. You can't see through it. And as you get darker and darker gray in the channel, the object gets more and more transparent. So this is actually a really powerful feature, and we'll see what you can actually do with that in the next podcast. This is just an introduction to saving selections and channels. So we'll see you next time.